You know, sometimes all you need is 20 seconds of insane courage. Just literally 20 seconds of just embarrassing bravery. And I promise you, something great will come of it.
The fear is never reaching your potential.
That's it.
That always falling short, always quitting before you're done, always procrastinating, always not doing the right thing. And then one day you're an old man.
Yep.
And you look back and go, God, I could have been great.
Yep.
I could have been great.
I never forget one time I was running by a graveyard and I was fucking just trying to become, I was fat. And I ran by a graveyard and I looked out there and I have all these epiphanies, man. I have all these fucking moments of like, it's crazy, man, of just thought. Cause I'm always by myself. I'm always in deep fucking thought about how to be better. And I look out there, I'm like, man, I wonder how many of you motherfuckers in there fucking just are so upset with how you lived your life and fucking just regret how you lived it. And I'm running a 300-pound man thinking, man, don't fucking die like this, bro. Don't die like this. So people wonder where this shit comes from me. It comes from such deep thought of trying to see what this is all about. What is this life all about? What am I all about? Why am I here? You know, I had to find purpose.
People only fail because they get caught up into what winning was. You're supposed to fail at some point in time. You're supposed to get knocked down a couple times. You're supposed to lose. That's how you learn. Perfection is only a word because imperfection was discovered. You can't be perfect without knowing what imperfect is. You have to experience imperfection at some point to go, now I'm perfect. And that's what people don't realize.
Is there any limit to your ambition?
No.
Or any limit to what you think you can achieve?
No. Well, no. Because I think right now, if I was to quit rapping and I said I want to go to the NBA, I would be in the NBA.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Why would you think you could make it to the NBA?
Because I think I can do anything.
There were a lot of days where I did not want to get out of bed. But if you have those little small goals, those little small things that get you excited when you don't want to, it's going to make it even better and even easier at the end when you're getting ready for a presentation or the end of the year or this or that, whatever event you're leading up to. It's going to make it so much easier. And I think if you look at the greats in anything that, in any walk of life, the greats do things when they don't always want to. And that's the separation. For me, that's what I've found.
Like one of the most difficult choices I've ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had two choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the two companies. But if I split it between the two companies, then both might die. And you know, when you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. And so it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the two. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through.
There's two sides of pain that I don't think a lot of people really understand, right? There's one side of pain that's the suffering and the discomfort side of pain. That's why everybody raised their hands when I first asked, have everybody ever been through pain? Because that hurts. You remember what that felt like. But then there's another side of pain that's called effort. It's called glory. It's called, if you can find a way to push through pain, there's something greater on the other side of it. And if you never tap into it, it's because the first time you felt it, you backed off. The first time you felt, that burn, the first time you felt that it's too much. And we rationalize with ourselves to where we automatically stop. That's why a bunch of us give up so much in life so quickly. That's why kids have a problem finishing things in today's time. Because as soon as they feel a small bit of discomfort or things ain't right, oh, they gone.
You were born to do something great with your life in big ways and small ways. It may not be on Instagram, it may not get 20 million likes or views, but you were born to do something great. I'm gonna say that to you again. You were born to do something great with your life. You are not average and ordinary. And the third thing is this, there's a power to doing one more. And if you'll do one more, your one decision, one relationship, one meeting, one encounter, one thought, one podcast interview, one book, away from a completely different life. You don't lack vision, you lack depth perception. You think you're further than you are, and you keep keeping it in that distance because you think it's so far away. You're one more, oh man, you really were one decision away, one relationship away from totally changing your life. He goes, yeah. Now that's an extreme example. I don't have one of those, but I'm a series of those one mores in your life, and so is everybody listening to this. So you're one away, one relationship, one meeting, one person, one thought away from changing your life.
Life isn't always so fresh or so easy. But what's inside of there? A lot of groceries and stuff you buy, right? You got the milk, you got the, your fruits and vegetables and stuff, and all that stuff, man, very perishable. What does that mean? I mean, when you buy it, you better eat that motherfucker, otherwise it goes bad. There's a shelf life to it, a time trial. Use it or lose it. And if you don't use it, then your investment in that product, you don't quite reap all the reward of that. So that's a little metaphor, I think, in life, because life itself is perishable. If you're playing basketball and you're shooting free throws, and you're at the line when the pressure's on you, if you don't constantly, when no one's watching, drill it, 1,000 buckets a day, when it matters, maybe you miss. If you're in the military, you're Delta Force or something, if you're not in the range firing thousands of rounds, well, then when you pull on fire, maybe you're not putting one in the head, one in the chest, maybe you're missing it. And maybe in that split second, it costs you your life. All these things eventually will be tested. You have the time right now to prepare them, to ensure the skills don't get spoiled like some fruit and fresh and easy. See, the thing about life, we're gonna die, right? Eventually we're gonna die, but our legacy can live on. The impact can be non-perishable, forever, but it's gotta be built right. And we gotta take advantage of the time we have right now. If you want it bad enough, you find a way.
I saw working out as a way for me to build calluses on my mind. I had to callous over the victim's mentality. So I watched these movies. I talked about Rocky last time I was on here. I always equated training to mental toughening. Like, it always looked brutal. People waking up early and doing all these things, and it looked horrible. I was like, wow, man, I gotta start doing that. Not to get better, bigger, and stronger, but that is what's gonna build me. That looks uncomfortable. That looks brutal. And getting up early, I don't wanna do that. So I made this long list of things I don't wanna do. And through that, I found myself. I started, I'm like, you guys aren't doing this shit in high school. You guys aren't getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, running over here in this golf course. So I started seeing myself very differently than the average human being. I was like, hold on a second. I have something they don't have. And that's when I started to develop these things through working out. It was this great, never-ending work ethic. And through work ethic, I developed self-esteem.
So, I'm gonna get there at 3 o'clock. I wanna make sure I make 400 made shots. Get in the car, get to the gym, get there, and as I'm walking onto the court, who do I see? I see Kobe Bryant, already working out. So I worked out for a good hour and a half. And when I came off, after I was done, I sat down, and of course I still heard the ball bouncing. I looked down, I'm like, this guy's still working out. It looks like he was in a dead sweat when I got here. Right. And he's still going. And it's not like his moves are nonchalant or lazy. He's doing like game moves, I sit there and I unlace my shoes. I'm like, I want to see how long this goes. So I sit out there and watch 25 minutes. And he got done. I said, okay, I think I've seen enough. Go play, come back, get in the sauna, get ready for the game. That game, he drops 40 on us. And after the game is over, I'm like, I have to ask this guy. Like, I have to understand, like, why he works like that. Right. So after the game was over, I'm like, hey, Kobe, like, why were you in the gym for so long? He's like, because I saw you come in. And I wanted you to know that it doesn't matter how hard you work, that I'm willing to work harder than you.
It's either you have it or you don't. That sounds like excuses to me. I mean, you got to figure it out, right? If you really have an obsession to figure it out, you will figure it out, right? And every puzzle is constructed differently. Right? AI's situation when he came into the league was different than mine. Mike's situation in Chicago was different than mine, right? Everybody has a different puzzle, man. You just got to figure out your own puzzle.
If you go to the gym and you work out and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing.
And if you go to the gym the next day and you come back and you look in the mirror, you will see nothing, right? Clearly there's no results, can't be measured, it must not be effective. So we quit, right? Or if you fundamentally believe that this is the right course of action and you stick with it, if you believe there's something there, you commit yourself to an act of service. You commit yourself to the regime, the exercise. You can screw it up. You can eat chocolate cake one day. You can skip a day or two. You know, it allows for that. But if you stick with it consistently, I'm not exactly sure what day, but I know you'll start getting into shape. I know it. Going to the gym for 9 hours does not get you into shape. Working out every day for 20 minutes gets you into shape. It's not about the events. It's not about intensity. It's about consistency.
Lock in on your dream. Lock in. All right? That means turn off the Twitter, get off the phone, stop gossiping, get off the corner, put the blunt down, lock in. That means, yo, you wanna go? No, I can't. I gotta stay here, I gotta lock in. No, no, I'm going to the library this Saturday. I gotta do some research on this business I wanna start. I wanna know what it's gonna really take for me to achieve that. I just wanna talk, lock in.
We work hard to become our own boss so we can do what we wanna do. The ultimate goal is to go to sleep when you want to and wake up when you want to. See, when you don't wake up when you want to, then guess what? Somebody's controlling you. And I don't wanna be controlled.
Other people try to place limits on what is possible for you. When you are a unicorn doing something different, other people try to place limits on what's possible for you and what you can accomplish because of their mindset and what they think they can accomplish as a human being. But for me, I can accomplish anything I set my mind to.
The more people tell you it's not possible, that it can't be done, the more you should be absolutely determined to prove them wrong. Relish the opportunity to be an outsider because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference.
You can do almost everything you want in life, but you can't do it at the same time. And if you can just dedicate yourself to one thing for even a year, and then the next thing for a year, you can do those 10 things. But if you try to do all 10 at once, you're gonna be Burden's ass. You'll be like, should I do this? Should I do this? Or should I focus on this? Or should I focus on this? So don't be a donkey.
Stay focused. Don't listen to nobody. Don't listen to nobody, homie. What's on your mind, just do it. It's what's destined for you, you gonna get it.
You have to choose you first. Choose you.
Definitely.
Do not stay in a relationship and suffer in silence. Either you grow together or you grow apart. And that doesn't make you a bad person or the person you with a bad person. But you have to choose you. If you don't love yourself, you can never love anyone else because you don't love yourself. So the person that you with is just a Band-Aid to cover up what's going on with you internally. Until you figure those things out, that's the most painful thing is being alone. No phone, no internet, none of that. You have to be alone. You have to go through that process.
Live your life like you're the hero in your movie. And right now is when the fucking movie starts and your life is a shitbag disaster. You're in the part of the movie that starts and it shows you as a fucking loser. And just decide not to be a loser anymore. Live your life like there's a documentary crew following you around and you are analyzing your own behavior. Do what you would want to do so that your kids one day would look back at it and see that documentary and look on it with pride. Like, wow, my dad was a bad motherfucker. He really did what he had to do. Wow, my mom really got her shit together. I love a success story, but even more than a success story, I like a dude who fucks his life up and then gets it back together again story.
There's a saying, when the devil ignores you, then you know you're doing something wrong. Wait a minute, I'm not done now. You know, the devil goes, oh no, leave him alone. Hey, he's my favorite. Right. Bother him. Yeah. Conversely, when the devil comes at you, maybe it's because you're trying to do something right.
Okay, so once you get your goal structure set up, you think, okay, if I could have this life, looks like that might be worth living. Then you turn down to the micro routines. It's like, okay, well, this is what I'm aiming for. How does that instantiate itself day to day, week to week, month to month? And that's where something like a schedule can be unbelievably useful. Google Calendar. It's like, make a damn schedule and stick to it. Okay, so what's the rule with the schedule? It's not a bloody prison. That's the first thing that people do wrong. They say, well, I don't like to follow a schedule. It's like, well, what kind of schedule are you setting up? Well, I have to do this, then I have to do this, then I have to do this. you know, and then I just go play video games, because who wants to do all these things that I have to do? It's like, wrong. Set the damn schedule up so that you have the day you want. That's the trick. It's like, okay, I've got tomorrow. If I was going to set it up so it was the best possible day I could have, practically speaking, what would it look like? Well, then you schedule that. And obviously there's a bit of responsibility that's going to go along with that, because if you have any sense, one of the things that you're going to insist upon is that at the end of the day, you're not in worse shape than you were than at the beginning of the day, right? Because that's a stupid day. If you have a bunch of those in a row, you just dig, you know, you dig yourself a hole and then you bury yourself in it. It's like, sorry, that's just not a good strategy. It's a bad strategy. So maybe 20% of your day has to be responsibility and obligation, or maybe it's more than that, depending on how far behind you are. But even that, you can ask yourself, okay, well, I've got these responsibilities. I have to schedule the damn things in. What's the right ratio of responsibility to reward? And you can ask yourself that, just like you'd negotiate with someone who is working for you. It's like, okay, you got to work tomorrow. Okay, so I want you to work tomorrow. And you might say, okay, well, what are you going to do for me that makes it likely that I'll work for you? Well, you could ask yourself that, you know. So maybe you do an hour of responsibility and then you play a video game for 15 minutes. I don't know, whatever turns your crank, man.
Most people don't understand what it's like to really go for something, and to know that the consequences of not doing that are horrific. But the only way I could be this person now is if I took that chance when I was 21, when I was dead broke and had my cars repossessed and all that stuff. That's the only way you ever get where you want to go. You have to take a path that's dangerous, and most people want to take the safe path. And the safe path leaves you stuck in quiet desperation almost every time.
Things just be calm. When things are going well, be calm. Don't think you're on top of the world in the sense. You always got to be wary, because I've seen it. I've seen people come. I've seen people go. I've seen them come. I've seen them go. You got to be chill. You got to like just take what's good in your life and move forward cautiously and carefully. And thank God that you have that. Just it's very, very important not to overextend yourself when you think you got it. There's no such thing. Everybody's dispensable.
You have no idea how limitless you are when you don't care what other people think or say about you. And to answer your question, it is fear that drives that. It is. And most of your mates that you hang around with are just as afraid because you pick somebody like yourself to hang around with. So if everybody you associate with is afraid of their own shadow, then how the fuck are you going to be any different? You're not.
Depression is nothing but extreme selfishness. That's what I'm going to call it. And I'm going to tell you why it's not real in a second. But if you're depressed, you're living inside of your mind. You're obsessed with how you feel. You don't care about anything outside of yourself, and you're an exceptionally selfish person. That's all they're trying to do, is convince you and teach you to be extremely selfish. Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this right here, right now, because there's a whole bunch of famous people, Lincoln Park, whatever, that killed themselves. If you have children and you kill yourself, you're not a man. I don't care what you're feeling. I don't care how sad you are. You have children.
Cut out the bullshit. Cut out the bullshit. Just get to the weeds of that. You are fucking yourself up by not examining your brain. You're not examining your brain. Message it. That's done. You examine your fucking brain, and that takes some hard work and suffering. If you're not willing to do that, I'm sorry. No, you can't watch it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta get out there and be like, oh, this hurts. This hurts real fucking bad. I don't think this is smart. And then, guess what happens? The body will adjust. It will adjust.
So I told my wife when I got with her, I said, look, I'll do anything for you except one thing. I will not give up on that dream. If I got to surrender my dream, I'd rather be alone. Because if I abandon my dream, I'll abandon you. I truly believe that. I see so many people, man, they give up their dream for the wife. They give up their dream for the husband. They give up their, and then the wife and the husband get together and they have kids, and then they give up their dream again because of the kids. And I said, the day we have kids, we cannot blame the kids for not going after our potential and our dreams. And I'm like, look, I'll give you anything. Monogamy, I'll never cheat on you. I'll never jack around on you. I'll take care of you. I'll provide you with a life that you can only dream of. This was 12 years ago. I mean, this was way before Grant really hit full Grant. If I got to be less than who I'm meant to be with you, that's powerful. Can't give you that.
And a lot of people will try to put their fears on you. You can't do that. No, you can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So they just projecting, they're putting things that they don't believe that they can do on you. And you may possibly can do it. Like my uncle, like I don't think he meant not, and I know I'm killing him, I'm saying them so many times. He just was projecting his fears and things that, are you crazy? How are you gonna do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me. So the whole thing is just, you know, and always believe you're great, even before anybody else believes it.
Nothing's ever gonna be given to you. Everything's gonna be earned. If you don't go out there and put in the work, you don't go out and put in the effort, one, you're not gonna get the results. But two, and more importantly, you don't deserve it. You didn't earn it.
The game you're playing is not success. The game you're playing is not money. The only thing that matters in life is what you think about yourself when you're by yourself and have nothing but your own thoughts. If in that moment you feel good about who you are, who you're becoming, what you're capable of, and what you're willing to do to make a better future for yourself, those you care about, and other people around you, you will love your life.
Well, let's say you've got a kid and you want the kid to improve. You don't set them a bar that's so high that it's impossible for them to attain it. You take a look at the kid and you think, okay, this kid's got this range of skill. Here's a challenge we can throw at him or her that exceeds their current level of skill, but gives them a reasonable probability of success. And so, like I'm saying it tongue-in-cheek to some degree, you know, it's like, but I'm doing it as an aid to humility. It's like, well, I don't know how to start improving my life. Someone might say that. And I would say, well, you're not aiming low enough. There's something you could do that you are regarding as trivial, that you could do, that you would do, that would result in an actual improvement. But it's not a big enough improvement for you, so you won't lower yourself enough to take the opportunity.
It's not your choice to decide, this is something that I shouldn't have dealt with. I don't want to deal with it. I shouldn't be dealing with it. If it's happened to you, it's happened to you and that's it. You're dealing with it. It wasn't your choice, but it's your responsibility as a person. If you want to be better, to take that loss and to let it propel you forward, right? Because a lot of things, like I can look back on my life, for example, and be like, the things that I went through made me who I am today, and I wouldn't change a single thing.
I wish I had known that this too shall pass. You feel bad right now? You feel pissed off? You feel angry? Yes, this too shall pass. You feel great? You feel like you know all the answers. You feel like that everybody finally gets you, and there you are. This too shall pass. Time is your ally, and if nothing else, just wait. Just wait.
The other thing that's so interesting about being alive is that you're all in. No matter what you do, you're all in. This is going to kill you. So I think you might as well play the most magnificent game you can while you're waiting, because do you have anything better to do? Really? Why not pick the best thing possible that you could do? Why not do that? Maybe you could justify your wretched existence to yourself that way. I think you could, because you're more powerful than you think. Way more powerful than you think. I mean, God only knows what you are in the final analysis. You're blind to your own weaknesses, but you're also blind to your own strengths. It's like, how far could you take that? If you stopped wasting time, and if you stopped lying, and if you oriented yourself to the highest possible good that you could conceive of, and you committed to that, how much good could you do? Well, I would say, why don't you find out?
What motivates me now is that there's over 600 some odd thousand people looking at me saying, motherfucking Goggins is somewhere out there. He's somewhere out there fucking getting after it. And I am. So you ain't never fucking alone. I'm out there somewhere, 600 some thousand people. There's a chance that when you're working out, I don't care if you're in fucking Washington, D.C. and I'm in Nashville, there's a good chance at the same time we're getting after it. And I want people to know that, and it's the real deal. We are getting after it together. Not no like happy family shit, but we're getting after it.
The cool thing is just being different. I wanna be completely opposite than all these positive people. You know what? Nah. That shit was ass. What? Why? Why was it ass? You have people that just like to do that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And what happens when one person does it, another person for no reason all go, yeah, me too. Yeah, that shit was ass, man. I ain't like it either. Did you see it? Because that's what's cool. It's not cool to be positive. It's not cool to be happy.
People think that the purpose of memory is to remember the past. And that's not the purpose of memory. The purpose of memory is to extract out from the past lessons to structure the future. And that's the purpose of personal memory. And so you're done with a memory when you've extracted out the information that you can use to guide yourself properly in the future. So if you have a traumatic memory, for example, that's really obsessing you, if you analyze that memory to the point where you figured out how you put yourself at risk and you can determine how you might avoid that in the future, then the emotion associated with that goes away. So memory has a very pragmatic function.
And the thing you've got to get out of your mind is high performance doesn't mean good. High performance doesn't mean that you did well for humanity. High performance is being all you fucking can be, taking advantage of all your assets. Man's greatest burden is unfulfilled potential. Unfulfilled. And as much as I've accomplished, as much as Elon Musk and Donald Trump and Bill Gates and the late Steve Jobs have accomplished, they only scratched the surface of what they could have accomplished. I told you last night at dinner, love doesn't get the job done. If love got the job done, you wouldn't be here. None of us would be here.
There is no such thing as work-life balance. Every family is different. There is no such thing called balance. You're the judge and the jury, just like a medium-sized business or a small business. How do you balance it? By trying. You try. You try to go to the recital. You try to go to the parent-teacher conference. You try to run your business. You try. What is can't?
Yeah.
What's can't do it? What does that even fucking mean? You missed a baseball game? Come on. The kids can have you miss a fucking baseball game.
If you don't get your act together and you let yourself slide, then what kind of moves in to take the place of what you could have been is something that's really not good at all. So it's not only that if you're living like a dissolute life, that you're not aiming at anything positive, and so you don't have any real meaning and you're subsumed by anxiety and all of that and hopelessness, but something kind of hellish moves in there too to occupy that place, and so then you end up making things worse. And when, you know, one of the things I learned about studying totalitarian systems, whether they were on the right or the left, was that part of the reason that the totalitarian horrors of the 20th century manifested themselves was because average people didn't take on the proper responsibility. They shut their eyes when their eyes should have been open, even though they knew it. And they did and said things they knew they shouldn't have done and said. And that was what supported those horrible systems. So, you know, if you don't get your act together, then you leave a little space for hell.
Nobody's better than you, and nobody's smarter than you. If anybody else is at the top of their field, it means that you can be at the top of your field. Just go to them and find out how they got there, because they started at the bottom. Now, it may take longer for some people and less for others, but everybody who puts one foot in front of the other and keeps moving eventually gets there. And that's where all the rewards are. Not only that, that's where all the joy in life is. When you're really good at what you do, you feel wonderful about yourself. You're respected and esteemed by everybody around you. You can write your own ticket. You can open any door when you're good at what you do. Because you get up in the morning and you know you're good. And that is more important than the rewards that go with it.
I have a little less empathy for 18 to 22-year-olds, because I really do believe that's the grind time, like time to set yourself up.
Yeah.
Whether you're in college and you need to study hard, whether you're you have an internship and after the internship you go home and stream on Twitch, whatever it is, like, you have energy, bro. You're a young kid. You guys have way more energy than me.
Pronoia is the universe is conspiring for me. There was a person who got in a car accident on September 11th. They could not go into work. If I get in a car accident, Pronoia, this has got to be for a damn good reason. I am so delusionally optimistic. This is how I've turned my life around, through depression, through brain tumor, through 300 pounds, through social anxiety, through being alone most of my life. All the bad things, I got tired of losing. I got tired of being a loser so much that I said, you know what? I'm going to become so delusional about these things, because every bad thing that happened in my life ended up being the most massive gift. If I did not have that brain tumor, would I be a Nike athlete? No. If I was not 300 pounds, would I have been on the cover of Runner's World magazine? No. So all the bad things that happened in my life, because I got up from it, it turned into a superpower. So now if something bad happens in my life, I'm like, blessings are coming. Like, I think about it, Santa Claus does not deliver presents in the light. He only delivers presents when it's dark outside.
I love that. I can't catch a break, guys. Yeah. Get them the fuck away from me. I can't be around those guys. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't buy it. Because everybody has bad breaks.
Yeah.
I've had a shit ton of bad breaks. But you know what I did? I stayed up. Yeah. And I thought through it. And I figured out what the fuck I did wrong. And then I went back. It's like, I fucked up everything I've ever done 100 times. There's no other way to do it. And I've had a bunch of shitty breaks. Everybody has. But you got to realize when you have those shitty breaks what that is. It's an opportunity for you to reassess, reboot, get better, figure out another way, find another way through. It's just little challenges. And the people that look at those challenges and go, why do I always have these challenges? They're cancer. Those people are dangerous to be around. They will rob you of your enthusiasm. They don't give you any fuel. They're the opposite of fuel. Yeah. Like the fuel people, they're the people that are kicking ass. The people that are out there just fucking hustling, always getting things done. The guy, like my friend Jocko, every morning I'll check his Instagram page, 4:30, shows a picture of his watch, get after it. He's out there working out 4:30 in the morning. He does it every fucking morning. Why? Because he doesn't want to. And that's how you do it. You go and get after it, you don't make any excuses. And those kind of guys are fuel. But those I can't catch a break guys, they're the opposite of fuel. They're just pissing on your fire. They're no fun. And then the people that surround them are all idiots. Because only idiots want to be around I can't catch a break guys. Yeah. Only the dummies stick around. After a while, even if they're your good friend, you got to be like, bro, you got to fucking stop. You got to stop with all this I can't catch a break bullshit. All the time you're complaining, you could be instead hustling. You could be instead chasing your dream. You could be instead figuring out what you're doing wrong, trying to improve certain aspects of your life, getting your shit together, reading a book, meditating, something. Fucking something. But this I can't catch a break shit is not helping anybody, and it pushes everybody away from you.
You watch me because in some way you can relate to me or you look up to me in some way. Well, guess what? You can go out and get this shit too. I'm trying to tell you it's not easy. It takes a lot of hard work, dedication, a lot of blessings, a lot of luck. It's lucky. But at the same time, you have people that work years and years and years and years, and it finally will pay off. If you work extremely hard at whatever you got going on, something that you love to do, I swear to God, your life will change. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, your parents might be the hardest people in your life that you gotta convince. So unfortunately, if you're living under the roof and you're still taking their money and you're still eating their food, you gotta listen to them. You gotta either get a 9-to-5 job on the side, you gotta go to college, you gotta listen to them, or you gotta respect your parents, you have to. However, once you start getting that leverage to where you can be like, yo, mom, dad, look, fuck off for a little bit. Let me grind at what I got going on right now. This is something special and great. Don't ever fucking let somebody let you down. Don't ever let somebody tell you you cannot be something, bro. I'm telling you, bro, you guys are all amazing.
Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. Think about every poor decision you've made in your life. Gosh. There was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mind. Every single one of them. Think about it. Really was. Your feelings keep you in bed. Your mind tells you, get up.
Because if I just think, well, tomorrow I'm just gonna coast and eat Twinkies and watch TV. Oh, hello, sadness, my old friend. Hello, depression. Because when you're not doing anything, you feel like shit. And that's just a part of being a human being. And we can pretend that we're something other than what we really are. And we can pretend, nah, me, man, I'm just cool, just chilling, doing nothing. Bullshit. You're a fucking human. You're a human being. You evolved from the fucking hundreds of thousands of years of hunters and gatherers and people that were struggling. Those human reward systems are carved deeply into your DNA. And if you don't respect that, if you don't respect the mechanism of happiness and fulfillment and what you really need to do in order to feel satisfied in life, camaraderie, love, family, friendship, struggle, testing yourself, learning, all those things are imperative. They're all a giant part of being a person.
Is life suffering? There's a part of it that has to be about suffering. And people hate it when I post about suffering, this whole new kindler, gentler, soft-ass fucking world, they just fucking oh God, this is horrible. Every bad fucking thing I went through in my life, the 2 heart surgeries, all the name calling, everything I went through. If you learn how to flip that motherfucker on top of his head and say, hang on, there's so much power in this fucking thing. And if you look at life as it is a trial ground, a testing ground for where you need to belong, where you need to go. Suffering is a fact of life. It's a great tool to callous your mind. If you look at it like, okay, motherfucker, you're testing me now.
Because real lions like to hunt. They love the process just as much as they love the prize. And some of y'all just want to score. You don't like the process. You're not in love with the process. You just like to put the pass on. You love when it's showtime. Everybody in the crowd, you're like, hey, Mom, can you see? You can't even start until you know your people there. Once you see them, you're like, showtime. A real man in the dark, when nobody's watching, he putting in work. A real man, when coach ain't even watching, he's studying film on his own. Because he loves the process.
There's a great feeling in these overcoming these difficult things, because life is never this just constant state of I'm at a 9 all day, and when I'm with my wife I hit 10, yay, and I stay like that. That's not real. And I think that there's a lot of people out there that think somehow or another you're going to get to some place where you're living in silk sheets and you're getting your toes done while someone's dropping grapes into your mouth. I don't want that. I've never wanted that. That guy's not going to be happy. He's going to be bored. An hour into the grapes, you're going to get those fucking grapes away from me. Stop painting my toes. What am I doing in this bed? I got to do something. I'm not stimulated. The human organism, the animal that we are, needs constant stimulation because it evolved trying to find food and escape enemies.
Aim high and take on a large burden of responsibility. It matures you and it improves the meaning of your life. It deepens the quality of the meaning of your life, but it also improves things around you, because it turns out that if you take responsibility and you aim to improve your own life and the life of others, and you work diligently at that, that not only does that improve your life in terms of positive emotion and control of anxiety and direction and all of those things that are absolutely vital, but that you actually do make things better around you. And so that's a justification for your existence, and you need that when times are hard and you're doubtful about the utility of your own existence.
Everybody's got a dream. Everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You've got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
Okay.
Plan B sucks.
All right.
Think about that for a second. Michael Jordan won 6 NBA championships with the Chicago Bulls because he was committed to Plan A, not Plan B. Oprah Winfrey became the queen of all media because she was committed to Plan A, not Plan B. Plan B sucks.
No one's gonna fucking come to help me. No one's gonna fucking come to help me. It's fucking me against me, period. And so I had to man up. And I said, the first thing I gotta start doing is facing every fucking fear I have. No matter what the fuck it is, man. And these things would keep me up at night. No one, people who are hearing this shit, they will never really understand and grasp when you face these things and so many things, how they keep you up and haunt you at night.
I think there's a lot of people out there that know what you're talking about.
I mean, and so that's what it did. And I had 2 options. To either be that 300-pound guy who sprayed for cockroaches and made $1,000 a month, and at 24 years old, knowing when I'm 50 fucking years old, I can reflect on this and think about what guy I never became, or I can totally just sack it up and fail and fail and fail until I succeed. So I started calling recruiters up. I said, I'm gonna go be a fucking Navy SEAL.
The idea would be that if you can face the malevolence and you can face the suffering, then that opens the door to your maximal potential. The optimistic part of that is, and this is why it's so useful to peer into the darkness, let's say, the optimistic part of that is that although the suffering is great and the malevolence is deep, your capacity to transcend it is stronger.
So what you get out of the most negative viewpoint is the most positive possible consequence. Because one of the things you'd like to know, if you wanted to know something deep about yourself, is that you could face the worst that there was and prevail.
In order to really truly learn about yourself and about life, you have to overcome adversity. You have to experience things. And I firmly believe that in order to truly appreciate love, you have to understand and really have felt hate. And to really appreciate camaraderie, you have to feel loneliness. So this is just a part of being a person.
I had to stop giving a fuck about people. That was the biggest thing. I had to stop caring what people thought about me. I realized that everybody's fucked up. That's the one thing I realized. I walked around and I put these people on a fucking pedestal. Everybody was better than me. So I can't tell you anything about me because you're gonna judge me and I'm gonna feel even worse than what I am. What I realized, once I calmed my mind down and sat back and looked at how jacked up this world is, once you realize that you are not alone, everybody that's talking to you about how jacked up you are, only thing they've done better than you is they've hidden their fucked up world better than you have.
You've got to develop a sense of urgency. Aurelia said, stop living your life like you have 1,000 years to live.
Your hardships, your challenges, your situation will either be the reason you don't make it, or it will be the story you tell when you do make it.
I was the one holding me back. I was the one looking for the scapegoat. And I was the one looking for all these ways to say, it's okay, David. You're a loser, you're a born loser, so it's okay. It's on me. The people around me are fucked up. They're not gonna save you. You gotta save yourself, my friend. I was like, man, this rest of your life is gonna suck. It is going to suck, not because you're gonna be a loser, but because you're gonna finally start to win. And winning is not easy, my friend.
Lay hold of it. You lay hold of it. And when that thing tells you to quit, you look at it in his eye and say, I ain't going nowhere. I will break you before you break me. You will not defeat me. You will not destroy me. Some of you are so ignorant. You've been through so much hell. You gonna quit now? You should have quit 10 years ago. You should have quit 10 years ago when he walked out on you. You should have been quit. You don't quit now. It's the 10th round. You got 2 more to go. And when you get to success, it's not about skill. When you get to a certain level of success, it's about stamina. It's about stamina. It's about you won't break me. You can't take me. I fought too long. I fought too hard. If I was going to quit Satan, you should have got me at 17. It's too late. I got people's lives I changed. It's too late. You should have broke me a long time ago. I'm unbreakable now.
When I started in business, guys, everybody laughed at me. All my friends, virtually all my family, virtually everybody I know, they laughed in my face, okay? They said things like, that's never gonna work. Who do you think you are? What do you think is gonna happen here? That's not how it's supposed to be done. It's supposed to be done like this. You don't have the skills. You don't have the money. You don't have the connections. How are you gonna actually do this? And those conversations went on for years. A lot of you young people out here trying to build something that you believe in, something that you see in your mind and believe in your heart. And I understand what it's like to have those visions and have every single person around you think that you're full of shit. This part of the journey is, in my opinion, the hardest part, because you have this idea, you have this dream, you have this vision that nobody else can see. Your friends can't see it, your family can't see it. You don't have any reason or any credibility to stand on and say, see, I can do this. So it makes it extremely hard. If this is you and you're struggling and you're fighting and you're in the fight, understand that facing this issue of non-believers, of critiques and criticisms and negativity is part of the process. And a big reason why people can't build businesses, a big reason why they can't follow through to create success for themselves is because they don't have the capacity to push through this initial phase. And this initial phase is justified because here's the thing,
So what's your fucking excuse? Is it too cold where you live? Is it too hot where you live? Does it rain too fucking much? Now it's time for some real fucking talk. Maybe you're the only black person applying for a fucking job. Maybe you're the only female. Maybe you're the only fucking gay person. Job, whatever the fuck it may be. Maybe that shit's in your fucking head. Maybe that's your excuse for not being better. Life's a real big fucking picture. When I was young, all those things got in my head. Black, fucking not smart enough, single mom, all that bullshit owns space in my head. If you're allowing people and things and situations to own space in your fucking head, you're losing. Last thing, life's one big fucking head game. You play with yourself. If you lose, it's because you allow life to get in your fucking head. Stay hard.
Outside the framework of normalcy is always going to be questioned because most people live inside that framework their entire lives. And as you step outside and as you venture more and more and more down the own path that you know that you're supposed to go down, you're going to face more and more criticism. And there's two kinds of people. There's the people that win and there's the people that lose. And the people that win have something in common when it comes to this level of criticism. They very simply understand this. Most of the time on this journey, you are going to feel like shit. You are going to be overwhelmed. You are going to be stressed. You are going to be tired. You are going to wonder if it's the right thing. That's most of the time. Everybody thinks this is some sort of free and easy ride to the top because we have all these people on the internet who pretend to do that so that they can dig down in your pocket and take your money. That's not reality. Reality is it's gonna hard. Reality is it's gonna take everything you got. Reality is if you don't have a big old chip on your shoulder that you could draw from and then have it push you down the road, you're not gonna fucking make it. So when you look around and you start feeling bad because these people are criticizing you, because these people are attacking you, because these people are doubting you, I challenge you to flip the perspective to one where you're thankful for that. Because eventually you'll become so successful, you won't have people doubting you anymore. You won't have people criticizing you like that. You won't have people that don't believe. And you won't have that fuel, and you wish you did. So learn how to use it, stay on the path, and recognize that no matter what someone says, no matter who it is that says it, the only way that you can lose on this journey is by giving up. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know that sounds oversimplified, but it is simple. There are no failures. There's only quitting. Every single failure, every single hardship, every single obstacle is going to serve you if you allow yourself to let it serve you. Because if you're executing day in and day out, day in and day out, day in and day out, over the course of time, regardless of what anybody says, regardless of what your mom says, regardless of what your dad says, regardless of what your cousins say, regardless of what the internet says, if you are executing day in and day out, no matter what, there is not a single thing that can stop you.
How can I work and my effort and my motivation and my drive is not based upon what the product will be, but more so based upon me taking pride in what I do. And so I came up with this thing called process over product. And what I mean by the process, I'm talking about the way I handle my business on a daily basis and the way I go about every single aspect of my life. I live by this thing called empty the bucket. But what they don't understand, it's an unspoken law and empty the bucket. It's an unspoken law of accountability and responsibility to me on this earth and my existence and everybody that is connected to me. I may be crazy, but I don't know. I just believe that I'm supposed to give everybody that is connected to me the best version of me.
I just think most people don't want it. They don't put forth the effort. And you only give it 70%. What would life look like if you gave 120%? What would it look like if you actually worked for every check you got? I truly believe that the difference between humans is how bad they want it.
It's time to stay focused.
It's time to decide, fuck clubs, fuck partying, fuck trying to fit in and socialize, rub elbows with everybody so people can stop calling you weird. Why are you so antisocial? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you staying on the basketball court so much? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you out there practicing in the hot sun when ain't nobody else out there? Because I'm trying to get it. Why are you not clubbing like every time I text you and invite you to go do something fun and cool, you always studying? Because I'm trying to get it. These clubs, these parties, all this shit ain't going nowhere. The more weird you are is a reflection of how committed you are to focusing on your shit, molding and shaping and developing your ideas and your craft so that when it's time for you to make your rounds, you gonna fly.
You know, trial and error. You know, you grow up and you make game-winning shots and it's awesome. You come back the next day and miss a game-winning shot and it's misery. And then the next day comes and you're back playing again, and you understand that life has this cyclical nature where it's, you know, what you do on Monday, it's fantastic, but then Tuesday is a bad day. But guess what? There's Wednesday. Yeah. So are we just supposed to live our lives like this the whole time? You know, versus just staying like this and understanding that it's really just a journey of evolution every day. It's just constant improvement, constant curiosity, constantly getting better. The results don't really matter. It's the figuring out that matters.
Don't let him get into your head. Don't let him take this on you. He got one shot. Go southpaw his ass. You go in there and you kick his ass, you hear me? You shut up, I want to see Billy the Great, You hear me? I want to see Billy the Great, you go out there and you beat his ass.
You know, I don't really know what I'm doing here because I got other plans in my life and this wasn't part of it. Your father was special. To tell you the truth, I don't know if he's special. Only you're gonna know that when the time is right. And it ain't gonna come overnight. You're gonna take a beating, you're gonna take this, you're gonna get knocked out, you're gonna get up, and you're gonna see if you got the right thing. But you gotta work hard. I swear to God, if you're not gonna do it, I'm out.
Like every punch I ever thrown's been on my own. Nobody showed me how to do this. I'm ready.
Do you have the courage to act outwardly on what you see inwardly? Or will you die a dreamer? Will you die on the verge and on the edge and in the land of coulda, woulda, and shoulda? It is far easier not to be successful. Misery will always have company. Success breeds contempt. If you don't want to make waves, be mediocre. And if you're more concerned about people than you are God, then neutralize everything he put in you. Just fit in with everybody else. Dress like them, walk like them, act like them, eat like them, go where they go, think like they think, do what they do. And once you neutralize your uniqueness, you don't need courage. It takes courage to be different. It takes courage to go where you've never gone before.
I was gonna rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody as ruthless. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from Nairclaw. There's no one that can match me. My style is impetuous. My defense is impregnable. And I'm just ferocious.
It's one team, man. It's all this is right now. It's all we're training for. To be one heartbeat. People tend to overvalue their dream, but they undervalue their team. For you to get to what you want with your dream, you need your team. Guys, when you focus more on the team goal than your own goal gets accomplished quicker. That's how it works, man. It ain't OD, special teams, it's everyone. One fist, man, everything. That whole punch has got to hit. You understand? Fellas, that's how we're training, that's how we're thinking. Relentless, focused together. That's all it is. That equals winning.
I mean, maybe you're doing your job, but why you gotta stop me from doing mine? Because if you're willing to go through all the battling you gotta go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? I mean, maybe some of you guys got something you never finished, something you really want to do, something you never said to somebody, something. And you're told no, even after you pay your dues. Who's got the right to tell you that? Who? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't nobody's right to say no after you earn the right to be where you want to be and do what you want to do.
Your fight. I got to fight my fight.
It's about fighting our fight. 2005, I had one of those tragic injuries ever. And I couldn't help my team. So the leader was took away, so there could be doubts. But if you still have a leader, and Joe Flacco, you got to rally around it. You got to get behind him, and it ain't about wins and losses. It's about loyalty. It's about understanding. I'm going to make the play, or I'm going to watch the play be made. It's simple. It's either I can tell my safety, you cover this because I'm going this time. It's a man on the man every time we play the game. It'll never change. It's about winning one-on-one battles. Fight through fight. It's our fight to fight. 1 and 6 doesn't define who you are. What defines who you are is what you do when you 1 and 6. What the man you will fight for. Get everything you got today.
I may be doing half-full in training, but when I go on that track, it's like I transform. The confidence I have when I'm out there is different. No matter how far you think you're ahead of me, I'm going to catch you. That's my mentality that I go there. I'm never scared of anything, never scared of anyone. It's all about business when I go out there. And everything comes together when I'm on train. Try to do your best in training, but sometimes I've watched and I've seen different athletes over the years, not only Jamaicans, British athletes, when they're training, they try to overdo it. You gotta work with what the coach says. A lot of people, they run hard, and then you can't finish the set. It's never like that. One thing I've learned over the years from my coach that the last one is the most important one. That's when you improve. So if you got 16, you're in 5, and you're tired, you're dying, you gotta even take a little bit more rest time, take 1 more minute and go. Because that's when you start improving. That's when the work pays off now, because your legs are dead and you gotta push your body. You gotta overcome. It's like you're moving past a barrier, moving a step forward. A lot of people just wanna stop because they're dead tired. You gotta do that extra. That's what
you know, there's only 3 steps into that ring. Just 3. And tonight it's gonna look as high as a mountain. And when you climb through them ropes, it's gonna be the loneliest place in the world, because you're gonna be in there with another fighter who wants to take you out. So now you gotta ask yourself, are you here to prove something to other people, or prove something to yourself? To myself.
You can't control the outcome all the time, right? Sometimes it should go the other people's way. It shouldn't always go your way. So you get motivated by the losses, you stay motivated through the winning. What you can control is your process. You can control those intangibles. You can control the work ethic, the consistent discipline, your attitude, your culture, how much you care. All those things are in you. They just need to be drawn out of you. And really, when you're in that position that you feel like you're got those pretty well under control, then you start passing those on to the other people that you're working with, that are parts of your team. Because I don't care how good any one of you are sitting out there. It doesn't matter unless you got a great team around you. You know, you could be great. You probably are great. You need a lot of other great people to support you.
After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day, so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, you know, I'd have something that was beautiful. And that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but you know, if you live your life to just get better every single day, and do that for 20 years, I mean, what do you have?
To be in my shoes is not easy, but I'm not complaining. I just want to say that I'm feel happy. All this happened because of the reason. The reason is I'm unbelievable inside the pitch. This is why the people have so much interest on me.
Are you the best footballer in the world right now?
I think so, yes. In my mind, I'm always the best. I don't care what the people are thinking, what they say. In my mind, not just this year, but always. I'm always the best. I'm always going to say that because I think we have to thinking we are the best in our area. So in my area, I think I'm the best.
If we fought to death, like if there's no time limit, I'm gonna kill you. Like that's just my mindset. Like there's no way. I'm gonna figure out a way to make you tired and then make you quit. And when you quit, may peace be with you to the next one. But at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's why you should be in that moment, because if you're fresh and stuff, everybody can be the greatest fresh. But there's the special ones that know how to figure it out when they're not there. Like when you're tired and you're dead tired, you got to go that one more round, the extra minute. You figure things out, and that's what separates the greats from the greatest. That's just the difference, I think.